Welcome. You're listening to the I'm Wired to Inspire podcast, creatively engineered by Nicole, the inspiration specialist. I'm Wired to Inspire is a powerfully packed 5-minute podcast filled with inspiration and encouragement to get you through your day. It's designed to inspire you to live your authentic purpose. Now stay tuned for your host, Nicole, the inspiration specialist, on today's episode of I'm Wired to Inspire.
You're listening to the Black Excellence Expose with Nicole, the inspiration specialist. Hey everyone, and thank you for joining me for another episode of the Black Excellence Expose. This is a daily podcast where I highlight 3 dope human beings of color, and I also ask you 3 probing questions just to get the ball rolling so that you can continue to operate in excellence daily as well. So first we want to get started with Van Jones. He's a social justice environmentalist and CNN commentator. He's been hard at work in social justice for nearly 2 decades, crafting visionary solutions to some of urban America's toughest problems, including poverty, crime, and environmental degradation. As the founder of Green for All, a national organization working to get green jobs to disadvantaged communities, Jones calls for an environmental revolution that is inclusive and equitable. He argues that we all need a tide of change that, quote unquote, lifts all boats. Jones is also the co-founder of Rebuild the Dream, a platform for bottom-up, people-powered innovations to help fix the U.S. economy. He was also appointed the Green Jobs Advisor to the Obama White in 2009. He helped run the interagency process that oversaw $80 billion in green energy recovery spending. He was the main advocate for the 2007 Green Jobs Act, the first piece of federal legislation to codify the term green jobs. He now leads Rebuild the Dream, a platform that promotes a socially and environmentally just economic recovery, and appears regularly as a CNN commentator. So the first thing I want to ask you guys is this: how can you fulfill a need? Is there something that you consistently see that perhaps you could pour into and you can begin to help other people? Is there something there that, maybe really gets you going, and maybe you don't realize that it carries some weight for you? Maybe it's something that keeps tugging at you because perhaps you are the one with the solution to it. And maybe it's something that you didn't think you had a solution to. I want you to think about that, because guess what? If you can find a way to fulfill the needs of others, then that means that you will not only be doing acts of service, but many times when we fulfill needs for others and we provide service, it also is a form of wealth. It's a stream of wealth. So make sure that you give that some thought today, because it is very important for you to be in a position to help others. And if you have discovered something consistently that requires someone to come and help, maybe you may not be the one to fulfill the need, but you may know the person who can. So make sure that if anything like that is happening around you, you begin to tune into it. And whatever it is that, God may be putting on your heart to help someone else, definitely look into it. So the second person we want to talk about today is a Black woman. And she was actually the first Black woman to reach the position of general through the ranks of the regular U.S. Army. And her name was Sharon Grace Cadorier. She was born in 1943 and she was appointed in 1985. Other women have become generals through the nursing corps, but General Cadorier was the first to achieve that rank through the military police, a traditionally male route. After an illustrious career, General Cadorier retired from the military in 1990. Complete and utter dopeness. Again, it never ceases to amaze me how when you put your mind on something, you're pretty much unstoppable. You can do anything that you focus on, anything that you believe you have the chops to do and complete. So with that being said, guys, we're going to go over to the second question. The second question is this: what have you learned that you could perhaps teach to someone else? It does not matter how old you are listening to this. It doesn't matter what you do. You do know information. Now, the question is, what will you do with that information? What will you put together for other people? How can you package your wisdom? How can you package what you know and pour that back into someone else so that they can begin to benefit from your wisdom? I think a lot of times in the world today, people think that they don't have the chops. They don't have enough. And that is not true. Anybody can be of use and anybody can be of help to others. So it is really important that you think about that and you ask yourself, what are some things that I know? What knowledge have I gained? What am I sitting on that perhaps could change someone else's life? What can I do to make someone else happy? What can I do to make them realize, hey, listen, I've learned this. I was taught this. I can teach it to you. And y'all, I'm not necessarily talking about formal education. It could just be your hustling skills. It could be your goal setting skills. It could be recipes. It can be all types of things that you've learned over time. It could be coping mechanisms. It could be things that really help you to balance yourself out and to walk out your life in a way that you can say, hey, I learned this personally, and I'm willing to share this with someone else. Again, this can also be marketable. This can be things that you do with your free time and you just give back to the community. And it can be both, actually. It can be marketable and it can be something that you give back just because. So I want you to think about that. Whatever information that you may have acquired over the years, that very well could be something that can open the door that could potentially help someone else. So definitely think about that and see if there's anything that drops in your spirit, anything that comes up where you figure, hey, I could potentially add value to somebody. Now, our third and final person for today, she's really remarkable. She has a ton of firsts. So I was really, really impressed by this. So I want to share this with you. Her name is Miss Carol Simpson. She was born in 1940. Now, she's a pioneering African-American female journalist. She was the first woman to broadcast radio news in Chicago. She was the first African-American woman to anchor a local newscast in the same city. She was the first African-American woman national network television correspondent. She was the first African-American woman to anchor a national network newscast and the first woman or minority to be the solo moderator of a presidential debate. Wow, my goodness. Something that I want you guys to think about, too, is that, sometimes when you get those things that come up that you want to do and something just, maybe your confidence is not up and maybe you want to stop and you don't feel like you're good enough to achieve it. This is a great example of how you have to keep going. And the fact that she was the first to do multiple things, it also is a confirmation that, God don't have to stop blessing you at one thing. If you put in the work and you put yourself in a position to, he'll open up those doors for you. So that leads me to my third and final question. What is your unique gift? What is the thing that you do that allows you to operate in excellence? What's the thing that you do that other people do not do? I come across two different things. Some people say, well, somebody else is already doing something, so they don't want to do it. Like they can cook good, but somebody else can cook well too, so they don't want to do it, which is crazy. That's just like saying it's only one songwriter. It's millions of songwriters. It's like saying it's only one person that makes clothes. A lot of people don't want to do things because they see somebody else doing it, but they're not going to do it like you. As long as you're original and you're not trying to copy what somebody else is doing and mimic what they do and you be yourself, if God is leading you to do that because it'll bless the world and it'll allow you to operate in excellence, well, then so be it. Handle your business and do what you got to do. So think about those three questions. And also, I always encourage you, whenever you hear about someone on this show, make sure you go and Google them and find out more information about them. You might learn some fun facts, like they may be from where you're from. They may be the same age as you. They may, you may find out things about them that I didn't share. I purposely keep it short and just informative because I just want you to get a little bit of the information, and then hopefully it will encourage you not only to answer those questions for yourself, but also to learn a little bit more about them. Also, I've already been getting submissions for everyone sending in information. If you do come across someone who operates in excellence and you want to put them on a Black Excellence Expose, I have been getting emails, and I just want to let you know, if you've emailed me, I will respond to your email with the date and the episode of your of the person you suggested. So be looking for that sometime this week. The first couple people will be on our episode, and I will acknowledge that. And if you have anybody, please send it to that's BEE, like Bumblebee, at I'mWiredToInspire.com. Okay, I hope you guys are doing well today. I'm wired to inspire. I hope you are too.
Thanks for listening to I'm Wired to Inspire podcast at I'mWiredToInspire.com. If you enjoyed the show, spread the word and be sure to hit the 5-star rating on iTunes. For more information on this podcast and inspirational products and services, log on to the inspirationspecialist.life or I'mWiredToInspire.com. And remember to live your authentic purpose. Thanks again, and see you next time.